G'day everyone, Andrew here from Bestwinebuys, and I'm joined by Ant Moore today, the man behind some of the most popular and successful products we've had on Bestwinebuys this year. Ant Moore, how are you going?
Good, thanks mate.
Thanks very much for stopping in.
No worries.
And I thought this might be a good opportunity for the customers to learn a little bit more about you. So could you just perhaps run through a bit of your winemaking history, where you've worked and what's brought you to this point in time?
Yeah, I mean I've been living in New Zealand now for about sort of 8 or 9 years. I was a senior winemaker for Hardy's before I came over here, and I started out at Isabel Estate back in '02. So, and basically it's been a bit of a pretty exciting journey. At the time I came over, I was just working as a winemaker, but I was fortunate enough to buy a block of dirt and plant my own grapes and go from there. And sort of, I guess what we've seen over the past few years, I've managed to expand that out, and now I've got a winery as well. So what I've done over the last sort of 5 or 6 years, I've created a couple of pretty big brands that have done really well offshore, Catalina Sounds, and Created House are two that have done really well overseas. And basically I've got quite big vineyard holdings, I've got quite a big winery, and I'm able to do a lot of projects for a lot of people. So a lot of the products that you guys get here are sort of tailor-made for certain markets. Might be like the US or the UK, and we're able to skim a little bit off for New Zealand. But yeah, it's been a pretty exciting journey.
Yeah, well, we've certainly had tremendous success with the likes of Freehand, Snowgrass, Longboat, Naked Vine, now this Doctor's Point Sauvignon. Some really fantastic Sauvignon, some good Pinot Gris, some good Pinot Noir. Any other varietals that you're kind of working on at the moment that you look forward to?
Yeah, I'm playing on a few fronts at the moment. We're I mean, we've got Riesling, we've got Gewürztraminer, Rosé, doing a whole bunch of different stuff. I've got Chardonnay planted. I'm just never quite happy with my Chardonnay the way it is, so I just don't release it until I've nailed it. I've also got some Gruner Veltliner planted. So we've got other things in the pipeline that are coming on. I'm also making some wine overseas in Australia now, so I'm doing McLaren Vale Shiraz and things like that, but they haven't come this way yet. They're all heading to the UK mostly.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. And we're likely to see any of those wines sort of in Bestwinebuys we're in the under $15 market? Is this a possibility?
Yeah, they normally will be, yeah. I think generally what I do is I make quite a lot of ferments. I'll do a lot of batches, and then I'll style different wines for different price points in different categories. So we generally try and hit some of those lower price points just because we've got such good volume and such, you know, I've got 700 acres of vineyards, so I've got a lot of vineyard area that I can draw from. And I mean, traditionally I've sold a lot of the wine onto other wine companies and other people around the world, but now we'd much rather sort of do it under our own labels, so we can do it a whole range of price points.
Yeah, rightly so. Oh, good stuff. And if I gave you the option between a good Central Otago Pinot or a McLaren Vale Shiraz, what would you go for?
At the moment, I'd probably go the Pinot. I'm sort of learning a lot on the Pinot front.
Yeah.
It's I've been down there the last 2 years, and I mean it's different to Marlborough, and just the way the wines age, the way they change in bottle and in barrel. It's really been a great learning curve. And so down there, I've got I source fruit from about 10 different vineyards, and so there's such a great sort of experience just learning all about what the variety can do and what the different regions do. So at the moment, I'd say the Pinot's the.
Okay, good call. Good. Yeah. That'll be popular with our customers. And what's your, well, put it this way, what's the best bottle of wine you've ever drunk? What are your inspirations?
I hate those sort of questions because it's sort of, there's so many great wines, and you sort of look back and think, well, you're relegating something to second place. But I vaguely remember a sort of boozy night in Atlanta, Georgia, where we had a fantastic 97 Brunello, and I can't even recall the producer, but it was a really memorable wine. And I remember the smeller, he sort of pushed this one. He goes, you've got to have it. And it was probably $350 a bottle or something. And we had this bottle, and it was just fantastic. It was sublime. There's so many layers in it. And on that particular trip, I sort of was drinking a lot of Italian wine over there because they just got such a great range and variety. And so the Brunello's really stood out as being, awesome.
Oh, good stuff. And lastly, from your accent, we can tell we know that you're an Aussie.
Yeah.
Can I ask who you support in the rugby?
Still the Wallabies, despite their terrible run of form.
Okay. And I suppose that's the same for the league and the cricket as well?
In the league, I support the Bulldogs, and the cricket, I don't like the Australian cricket team. I think they're all wankers. So I don't really follow the cricket anymore.
No, fair enough. Good call. Oh, man, thanks so much for calling in. That's been superb. Awesome. And we look forward to many more wines
no worries.
coming from you. So,
thanks a lot.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.